Hello everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Switchaboo Podcast. My name is Alex Harding, I'll be your host, and I am joined here just by Nathan Rudge today.
Hello.
It's a bit of a, so James couldn't make it unfortunately, Rochelle still couldn't make it, so it's actually a little concerning that we're losing one member every time we do an episode.
And then next week will be just Alex.
Hopefully not. Oh, goodness. How have you been, Nathan?
Not too bad. Nothing too stressful. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not much of an update. A lot of update in the news, though. So, because we do these podcast episodes fortnightly, there's always a ton of news. So, we'll get into that. But first thing, Nathan, what have you been playing?
I finished Yakuza 7.
Hey!
Really good. Really good. Dove back into Stardew Valley with the new update.
That's right. Have you been enjoying that?
Yes, it's been a bit of fun. Of course, got to go with Beach Farm for a new farm.
Yeah, because that's like basically hard mode, isn't it?
Yeah, so sprinklers don't work on the sand. And that's an automatic process for watering, which cuts down a lot of time.
But when you can't, how do you plant crops on sand?
It's still, they still grow in the sand, and there are spots where there's still earth where you can place stuff further in, but, it still grows on the sand. It's not completely oh, no, it's not going to work.
Oh, okay.
So, it still lets you grow on the sand. It's just, it's more difficult.
Did you play with anyone on Valentine's Day in the co-op mode?
No.
Nah.
Not yet. Gotta organize a time for that.
Gotcha. And have you been playing anything else?
The only other thing I've been playing was Healer's Quest.
Oh, that's right. And that's because that released a couple of days ago, didn't it?
Yes, I think so.
How's that so far?
That's pretty funny. The writing's pretty well. It's very meta, Deadpool kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's self-aware.
Yep. It's like breaking the fourth wall a lot.
But it is actually quite difficult.
Okay. Well, that's good for you because you like RPGs, so a challenge would be good.
Oh, yeah, no. Even, on easy, it's difficult.
Yeah, right. Okay. I saw that, but I was like, oh, I don't want to play that just before Bravely Default 2 because I don't want to overburn myself with RPGs.
Yeah, I don't get overburnt with RPGs.
It's your bread and butter. You're never going to get sick of them.
Exactly. It's what dragged me into this whole gaming as a general.
That's it. Have you been playing anything else, or is it just those ones?
Just those ones, really. Apart from, the usual Hearthstone. That's my my nothing game, basically. Play it when I can.
Yep. Do you play that daily?
Mostly, actually. Do the daily quests and stuff. But, not a lot. Just,
get that in there.
Yeah, just do the odd piece every now and again.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe, an hour a day at most.
Nice. So, I've been playing... So, not long ago, about a week ago, Blue Fire came out. This was a game I was looking forward to for a long time. Because back in the indie world, I think it was, early last year, we've been looking at it. I'm a bit disappointed by it, and that's very upsetting.
That's unfortunate.
Obviously, when you're following a game for so long, and you finally get it, and it just doesn't live up to your expectations, it's pretty upsetting.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it is a good game, and it does function quite well. The platforming is fantastic. It's really, really smooth. The odd frame rate drops here and there, but I feel like they'll fix that in later patches and whatnot. It's the biggest gripe I have with it, and I said it to death in my review, but the biggest gripe I had is picture a Zelda game without a map.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. At
all. It's
sacrilege. Because you forget where you're going, and then you enter a new area, but you're very conscious that you're entering a new area, and you have that feeling and that anxiety in the back of you that you don't want to go too far into that new area, because then you won't be able to find your way back.
Especially, so, as someone who's an aphantasia as well, having a map there is it makes it so much easier because I know where I'm going.
Exactly.
It makes it so much easier. Mini-maps are, a godsend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even something like that. Even not something that I could pull up in the menu, but even a mini-map to just, so I can discern and get my bearings back whenever
Yeah.
I need to. But yeah, it didn't even have that. Like, no hint of it whatsoever.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, and that was the biggest problem I have with it. Steve is our... Well, we all love The Legend of Zelda, but Steve is our huge Legend of Zelda fan. And because he recently wrote the Opinion Pipe, the next Opinion Pipe article, and that was all about The Legend of Zelda, basically. And I said, because, you know, I was pointing this game out to him, he's like, oh, I'm so keen for it. And then I told him it doesn't have a map. He's like, no, I'm out. Not doing it.
No, you have to have a map with a lot of this stuff.
Exactly.
If you don't know where you're going, it's like, the whole game is just ruined, basically.
Yeah. And that's the upsetting thing as well, because it's a very good game aside from that. Like, the characters are very interesting. It's got a very Hollow Knight, you know, melancholy, somber atmosphere.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go, you know, it doesn't try too hard in that regards. The platforming is really smooth, but yeah, it's just having that constant anxiety, not knowing where you're going is, you know, something that just can't be shaken.
I wonder if that's something they might patch in a future update kind of thing with, you know, all the reviews coming out saying, like, you know, got lost and all this stuff coming out.
I reckon they will, to be honest, because I've seen that I'm not the only one who's saying this. Even on their Twitter page, people were commenting about it. You know, are you going to bring a map to this and all that? So I reckon they will. I reckon the demand will kind of force their hand on that one.
Hopefully.
Yeah. The other game I've been playing is Glyph. I'm working on the review for that one as well, and that one's quite fun. Do you know about Glyph?
I think I've seen a little bit of it. I can't recall it from the top of my head.
Think a 3D platformer in bite-sized levels, and you're playing as the Morph Ball from Metroid.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you're an insect, so you can when you're in midair, you can glide for like a very short period of time.
Huh.
And it's
sounds neat.
It's really, really good. It doesn't skip a beat in terms of frame rate. Like, it's very smooth. It's very crisp on the Switch as well. Like, it looks really good.
That's good. That's what you want on the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a console exclusive at the moment, so it's PC and Switch, I think. I hope. I'm right there.
Hopefully.
I think it's a console exclusive, if not timed. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking that out. Working on a review for that, thinking about mid-80s, I reckon.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm very confident with that one. And the other game, I'm still playing Rogue Legacy. Very slowly, you know, making my way through that one. I have to correct myself. Nathan, you were actually right the other, 2 weeks ago. There is Rogue Legacy 2. That one is come out. So it has come out. So you were right there. But it's still, I think it's like brand new. It just came out because it was on the Steam.
Yeah, it's only just come out, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't sure if it was out or if it was in early access.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like 10% off at the moment. But I was like, I'll wait for it to come to Switch. Wait till it's like 50% off or something like that.
Have you unlocked the dragon race yet?
Yeah, I had a while back. I don't like the dragon race. I really don't.
It's neat, but like they die so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And the ability not to jump, you have to glide. I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, it just throws me off my game straight away.
Yeah.
I just got used to the Lich, and it's not too bad. It's actually better than I thought it was.
No, Lich is good if you spend your time killing stuff.
Exactly. Which I normally do anyways, because I'm big on looting.
Yes, exactly.
So moving on to the news segment, we have, like I said before, we have a lot of news, so we'll kind of spitfire through this, but a lot of really cool news, or little tidbits here and there. First thing, Apex Legends is coming to Switch. It's coming to Switch on March 9th, so it's not that far away either. Are you an Apex Legend person?
Shooters are not my genre.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I remember seeing my old housemate playing this. It looks really good, but I'm pretty much the same.
Because isn't it similar to was it Fortnite in the way it plays? It's a hero. It's like Overwatch cross Fortnite kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a battle royale.
Yeah.
So
but they're heroes.
Exactly. Yeah, and similar to Fortnite, you come from the sky and you like like the sky bus in Fortnite. I've only ever played Fortnite like 2 or 3 times, to be honest. But with Apex Legends, similar. You jump from the sky and you land in a certain area. I'm pretty sure Apex Legends, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it's team-based. Or maybe that's an option
Yeah,
in there.
I think there is a team-based option.
Yeah, whereas I don't think Fortnite has that. I could be wrong. All the 15-year-olds are probably yelling at me right now, but that's fine.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never played Fortnite or Apex Legends.
No, I'm very curious to see how this runs, though, because it looked pretty intense, like graphically intensive when I saw my old housemate play it, and he was playing it on his Xbox One X.
It was ported by the guys who did Rocket League.
Exactly. So I've got faith in it, but I think they're Panic Button is their name, and yes, they are fantastic, and credit to where credit's due. And if anyone's going to do it, it'll be them.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll see how it runs. I reckon 30 FPS it'll be locked at for sure.
Oh yeah, you'd have to.
Exactly, but having that for people who don't have any other console, I reckon it's awesome.
It's a good way to get people into it as well.
Exactly. Next bit, E3 digital event is looking to go ahead, so strictly digital, obviously because of the pandemic and that's still going on. But it's dependent on company support, so your Microsoft, your Nintendo's, your Ubisoft, and all that. So I don't know. I honestly don't think it will go ahead, or if it does, it's never going to be the same again.
No, because Nintendo does their own thing, PlayStation's doing their own thing now. Microsoft would be the only one. And even then, they can just do their own thing.
That's right. And PlayStation were doing their own thing before. Like in 2019, they didn't show up.
They copied the Nintendo Direct thing, basically doing their digital event.
Oh, yeah, with the State of Plays.
It's so much cheaper. Yeah, it's so much cheaper for them.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a different era now.
Yes.
Information travels differently. Obviously, we would know that being a news covering site.
Yes.
That's just how it works now.
Well, I am disappointed we haven't had a Nintendo Direct proper in a long time.
Yeah. I honestly don't think they're going to do them as much anymore. And I think it really worked for them to just simply drop the trailer to something. Because it didn't affect sales. That's for sure.
Nope.
So if they don't have to put that money into anything. Although they did... I could be wrong about this or get the details mixed up, but they did hire, or they were looking to hire someone in video editing for that kind of thing. I'm very much paraphrasing.
Hopefully that means we get more directs.
Yeah, maybe. I'm hoping so anyways. Us Nintendo purists, we'd always be itching for Nintendo Directs.
Oh,
because it's an event.
It is. It is a big event every time. And you just see everything go boom on the internet kind of thing.
Yeah, and us being in Australia, it's normally at 1:30 in the morning, but we still stay up for it.
Yeah. Let's have 6 o'clock in the morning start, but yeah.
Yep, because that's just what we do. Interesting bit of news. I don't know if you've ever played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. Nintendo actually forced the cancellation of an Xbox 360 remake, which is very upsetting to hear.
Surprising. I didn't think they would actually have the license to that, because wasn't it Rare who made that?
Yeah, it was Rare who made that. I'm pretty sure Activision got the license for a bit. I'm taking a guess there. I'm pretty sure it's Activision. So it is...
I'm trying to think. Is that who made the Casino Royale game?
I could not tell you.
Because I think they did a GoldenEye multiplayer on the Casino Royale game on the Wii.
Yeah, that's right, because they did... There was a GoldenEye or GoldenEye-esque
yes, that's
game.
Because it came with the shooting gun attachment thing.
That's right. Yep, you are right, because that's probably why they did it, I imagine, because that was coming up. But it is very upsetting, because it obviously wasn't GoldenEye when it came out.
Yes.
It didn't kind of live up to that hype or quality.
Exactly.
I feel like GoldenEye is more of a stuck in the era kind of thing as well.
It is. Technically, you can play those multiplayer mode in Banjo-Tooie.
That's true. It's not great, though.
I know.
No.
It's not.
And that's saying something, because I love the Banjo games. You know me.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah, that's right. New Switch Online games have launched, and for the life of me, I could not tell you a single thing about any of them.
Yeah, I know nothing about these games.
That's it. It's like Psycho Dream, Doomsday Warrior, Prehistoric Man, and for NES, Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice actually doesn't look too bad. It kind of reminds me of I imagine Hours Awakening, if you're familiar with that. Hours Awakening and Hours Legacy.
No, I'm not.
No. Made by Elden Pixels, who
Okay.
like it came out very recently, like on Switch, and they're publishing Cathedral. Comes out next week, I'm pretty sure. But it's basically where you summon blocks, like ice blocks, and then you can push the blocks in a 2D platformer kind of thing. And yeah, and maybe that's where they got the inspiration from. But other than that, I really can't tell you anything more about those games.
Yeah, no. There's not a lot I know about them.
No, they're not Earthbound. I know that.
Yeah.
Nor are they Super Mario RPG, or Chrono Trigger, or Final Fantasy 3,
or Chrono Cross,
or 6, or Chrono Cross. Well, yeah, maybe, probably not.
Because that never came out on Nintendo.
No, I wonder what the.
It never came out in Australia.
That's right. You were telling me about that. What's the deal with? Because you probably know about this. What's the deal with the licensing with Chrono Cross? Is it PlayStation exclusive?
It's Square. I think they just released it on. I think they only released it on PlayStation because that back at the time PlayStation was the strong played movies and stuff more than the N64 because it was cartridge to disc.
Yeah.
That's I think where it was because FF7 was PS1 exclusive, not because of Sony, but because it was more powerful, and that's why they went with them. I think it was.
Yeah, it was more like a memory kind of thing. Although, fun fact, did you know that they were trying to? There was going to be a Final Fantasy VII on the Nintendo 64 DD at one stage.
I do remember hearing about that, but that never really lifted off anywhere.
No, that definitely didn't happen.
Then the GameCube had those tiny discs.
Yeah. Nintendo. Oh, Nintendo. Next one, Game Master Classified is a book that just got funded on Kickstarter. It's featuring Howard Phillips. And you and I, we both grew up in Australia, so we don't really know too much about Howard Phillips, and especially in the 80s as well. But if you're unfamiliar, he was kind of like the Game Master in Nintendo Power magazine. Yeah.
What was it? They called them up as well and could get like hints for games.
Yeah, exactly. So like Howard Phillips was kind of like the spokesperson for that, and he had like his own column in the magazine and all that. But I think that's pretty cool because I've listened to the audiobook. I haven't read the book, but I listened to the audiobook Console Wars. Have you ever read that?
I haven't, but I remember seeing planned on it, but I never got around to it.
It's really good. I'd honestly recommend just listening to the audiobook because it's a massive book. But yeah, so he was a massive part of Nintendo's success, and he was actually at Nintendo of America when there was only like 6 or 7 employees, and they were just they were just a warehouse shipping arcade cabinets when they were doing like radar scope and all that.
And now look at them.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of information that'll come from that book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll get it. You know me. I'll definitely get it.
Oh yeah. Go on your shelf.
I pre-ordered.
It's a talking piece.
Exactly. I pre-ordered the Iwata Arse books as well.
Oh, those would be good books.
Because that's available now. I think that comes out in April. Definitely worth getting.
Oh yeah.
Next bit of news: Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie got confirmed for next year. I haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, that went really well from what I haven't seen it either, but like from what I heard, it's actually really good.
Yeah, I heard that as well. I need to see it, and like you said, it did. Like critics tended to like it, even though they didn't really understand it. But Sonic fans tend to like it as well, so I need to watch it.
I mean, it came out literally a year ago.
Yeah, so that's a quick turnaround.
On Valentine's Day,
especially with movies not being a big thing at the moment because difficulty recording.
Yes.
A lot of it might be CG. Might have to do it that way.
I mean, a lot of it was CG, I think, in the first place.
Exactly. So, I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. So, it's just good to see him working again.
The fact that they went back and redesigned Sonic as well is like props to the whole team for that.
Yeah, because that looked atrocious.
Sonic with human teeth.
I completely forgot about that, actually.
It's nightmare fuel.
It is. Oh, so bad. So good. Yeah, and that's it. Good on him for actually going about, and listening to the fans and changing it up. I remember the only person that wasn't happy about that was ironically Jim Carrey.
Huh.
He was like really upset about that. I'm like looking at it like, dude, look at it.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
It was not good. Not even close to like the source material.
No. Exactly. Ugh, terrible. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time's coming to Switch on March 12th. Lots happening in March.
It's about time it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah. So coming to the Switch, it's not just being downscaled so it can run on Switch. It's like being completely remade, new textures.
Yes.
Like that's how you do a Switch port. And yeah, it takes a lot more effort to do, but the end result looks so much better.
It's more worth it for the user. Like, I'm surprised coming from Activision as well. They tend to be more go for the short way with their history.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get money one way or the other. Did you play the Insane Trilogy?
No, I haven't. I played CTR, but not the Insane Trilogy.
Okay. I played them back in the day.
Yeah, I played the old, like the original ones, but I never played the like Insane Collection, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
The remakes. Yeah, I never played the remakes. I only played the CTR remake of them and Spyro. You can't go wrong with Spyro.
I tried the CTR demo when it was like available like temporarily with the Nintendo Switch Online. It was good, but I felt that the control mapping was a bit odd.
Can't get used to the drifting.
Yeah, especially after playing so much Mario Kart, it's kind of hard to go back to. But yeah, I felt exactly the same way.
Also, the online was bad when it came out. Like, it would disconnect a lot. Oh, the CTR online was bad when it came out. It used to disconnect a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it came out, like, better eventually. But yeah, when it first came out, it was not good.
So that's kind of ironic that they had that as the Nintendo Switch Online demo game. That's a bummer. Moving on to the bit of indie news. So, Broken Roads. If you haven't heard of Broken Roads, made by Drop Bear Bytes. So they're a Melbourne-based indie developer. Hasn't been announced. Well, it is coming to Switch. They always say that it's coming to Switch, but it hasn't been like formally announced. So that might be why you haven't heard of it. For anyone who's a big fan of CRPGs, so like the original Fallout, Baldur's Gate, those kind of games, Broken Roads is basically that set in a post-apocalyptic Australia, like in the outback. Really, really cool. The news that goes along with that is that a Ubisoft Montreal scriptwriter is now the narrative lead. It's a new narrative lead of that game, which is pretty big considering this is their first game.
From the trailer that I've seen of it looks really cool.
It does.
And using, Australian voice talent as well. I was like, hang on, that voice sounds familiar.
Yeah. As soon as you watch the trailer, you instantly know. When we interviewed them back at PAX in 2019, we kind of had a big discussion about it. And yeah, since then it's caught our eye. They're very active on Twitter, so definitely go check them out. So Drop Bear Bytes is the developer. Broken Roads is the game. If you're into CRPGs, definitely check it out. It looks incredible. And it's got a very unique morality-based system. So, because the lead developer, he has his master's in philosophy,
Ooh.
He was telling me.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so the moral-based compass that they have in the game, depending on your actions, steers you towards a school of morality, basically, and then your decisions are based off of that. Looks really, really cool.
Huh. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Be way more in depth than, I'm bad, or I'm good.
Yeah, it's less black and white. And I remember playing the original Baldur's Gate for the first time 2 years ago, and I did think that it was kind of very black and white, good and bad. I also apologize if you can hear my cats in the background. They are climbing up their tree, and they don't care that I'm trying to record a podcast right now.
Well, I can't hear it, but that might just be because Discord's muting the background noise.
I'm going to do a lot of editing after this. Great, thanks guys. Next little bit, so Nintendo partners with Microsoft, wait for it, to launch Nintendo Switch Concierge. So it's not as big a news as what we thought, but it still looks kind of cool. So Nintendo Concierge is basically you can book an appointment with someone who can talk you through and teach you things about the Switch and how to run things. It's kind of like a
it's a new user help friendly, new user friendly system to help them set it up. From what I saw.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like what we were talking about before, where they can ring up in the NES days.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's less. I think it's less about game hints and more about just how to function. How does the Switch function?
Yeah, I think they also offer game suggestions and stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I looked at the website and I think one of the things was game suggestions for games that you can get.
Yeah. Although I imagine, I kind of feel like that'd be a little bit biased. Just buy Nintendo games, and you'll be okay.
I mean, it might be slightly different, but we'll see.
I'm hoping so.
See how people come out with it.
You like action RPGs? Try Mario Kart. Mario Kart will be good.
Yeah.
No. What's next? So, Pokemon Company teases announcements in their anniversary week, which is only, 2 weeks away?
So, Diamond and Pearl remakes?
That's the obvious one, I reckon.
Because it's too early for, was it Gen 9?
Yeah,
Gen 9.
Yeah, it'd be Gen 9. It'd be too early for that, I reckon. I reckon give that another year or two. We only had the DLC last year.
The fact that we're almost at Gen 10.
Oh, it makes me feel real old.
I know. Oh my god.
That's very concerning. But yeah, I hope to see some kind of cool announcements. And we know new Pokemon Snap's coming soon, and that's pretty cool. But I imagine they'll
with your dibs on that.
Yes, I do. But they'll definitely have they've got to have a holiday title. They always do, but especially for their 25th anniversary.
It'd be interesting to see what they do.
I'm very keen. Especially there's probably going to be a direct or what do they do? Pokemon Presents or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, they'd probably do more information on that Pokemon MOBA.
That's right. It's Pokemon.
I forgot that existed.
Yeah. Was that Pokemon Unite or something like that?
Yes, with Tencent, I think it was.
Yeah, with Tencent. I mean, good on them for capturing all genres, and there's MOBAs. There's a massive audience for it, and especially if Pokemon kind of gets in it, people will get in on that.
It'd be interesting to see how it goes.
But definitely not for me.
No, not at all. Not for me either.
Oh. You were talking about this before, the Stardew Valley update, 1.5 update's just live now.
Yes, it's good. It's very well done.
So the main thing was the co-op, wasn't it?
When he first came out with it, when he first announced the game ages ago, I think someone asked if he could do local co-op. He was like, "Nah, it's impossible. Local co-op is now available."
And there you go. Now he's done it.
That's the biggest thing, and then there's more post-game content, which is a completely different area. Won't say more than that. And then there's a whole new farm, like I mentioned before, which is the beach farm.
That's pretty cool. Which is a hard mode in a way.
A wide variety of everything else, more costumes, hats, just a bunch of stuff.
Nice. I need to play Stardew Valley. I played it for a couple of hours, and I don't know why. I think something caught my eye, and then I kind of just fell off of it. I've really got to go back to it, but I know Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olivetown is coming out soon, and I reckon that'll get my attention.
Yeah.
Because that looks really good too.
It's a good genre, just chill out.
Yeah, exactly. I've been really feeling the life and farming simulation games recently. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just that stressed, and I need that in my life right now.
Also, the whole COVID quarantining stuff, that helps with that genre.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why, almost every Switch has almost 100, or if not more than 100 hours on Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about that? Because I know you were very excited for that update.
No, I'll leave that for the review I eventually do.
Yeah, gotcha. Be sure to, listeners, be sure to stick around for that one. The next bit's a little tidbit, but I'm really happy about this one. Trials of Mana, the remake, sells 1 million copies. And I just think that's fantastic.
Which is good for a remake.
Exactly. I just think that's fantastic. I think I gave that game 80, around the 80s, low 80s-ish. But yeah, it's a very good game, and a very, very interesting remake where it's an SNES game, but now it's made into a 3D action RPG, sorry. And yeah, it worked very well, and I'm happy to see it do some success. Have you played this one?
I think I played a smallest amount on the PS3. like one of the Trials games, and I can't remember.
Oh, okay, but you haven't played this,
Maybe it was
Trials of Mana
no,
one,
I
gotcha.
haven't.
I think there's a demo
No.
of it, though.
I haven't tried it yet.
It is quite good.
You know, there's a million other games to go through my back catalogue, so...
It's an RPG, so, you know, that should be a tick for you.
I know. It is.
Um,
It's just finding time.
yeah, it's one of those games, you know, Square Enix does where there's a demo and you play, I think it's like 5 hours of it or up to a certain point, and then it carries over when you buy the full game.
That's a good one. That's the ones you want.
Exactly. Same with Dragon Quest XI's does that as well. And my god, that game's fantastic.
It's a good series, Dragon Quest. There's a reason it's still around.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly prefer it more than Final Fantasy. Like, easily.
That's probably half because of, you know, our generation grew up with the whole Toriyama illustrations from Dragon Ball.
True. That is true.
And Toriyama has a big art design in Dragon Quest.
But yeah, I've always been sorry, I'll start that again. I've always steered more towards Dragon Quest. I think because of it's got more of a light-hearted style. I'm definitely not one for like realistic graphics.
It's more high fantasy than
Final Fantasy,
like dark gritty fantasy.
Exactly, which is ironic,
yeah.
But
yeah,
it's a very good series and fantastic game. One of my favorite games on the Switch. A little bit of news about Playtonic Games. If you're not familiar with them, Playtonic Games did Yooka-Laylee and Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. So these guys are made up of a lot of X-Rare developers who made like the original Banjo-Kazooie and everything. They had their 6th birthday, which was a big thing, and they, you know, did like a whole tease and they were going to announce something. Everyone thought it was going to be a new game. Not quite. They've announced a publishing label, so called Playtonic Friends, with 3 other developers. They did hint that an announcement will come soon for their upcoming game, but yeah, they've done it with 3 developers, all interactive. Fabraz did, I'm pretty sure, Slime Sun, so that was a big game on Switch, and Okie Dokie Co, which I love that name, but they did the OK Golf series.
That's a nice name.
So I just like hearing anything about them because I love Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, it'd be good to see their future work.
Yeah, and I mean, this publishing deal is only going to be good for them because it'll, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly.
More money.
And maybe they can do a Diddy Kong Racing version.
Oh, it'd be so good. I miss that game.
That had good music.
Yeah, and the DS version just did not hold up.
The DS version was really good. Like, it was good for online play.
I never did it online.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, you can play online. Even though, you know, on the DS it was a mess to get online.
It's like half the battle was just finding someone or it like holding connection for long enough.
Oh, it was just even connecting to the wireless on the old DS and stuff. It was, you had to have like a dongle to plug it in to have a specific Wi-Fi signal and stuff.
Oh, jeez. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Although I imagine when it worked, it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It was good fun.
NPD Sales. I always love looking at NPD Sales because it just, well, recently especially, it just shows that Nintendo's kind of dominating. But the biggest bit of news was their sales for January 2021 was the highest sales number for any console since 2010, which was the Wii.
Wow.
For the month of January, that is.
Oh, of course.
But still, that's huge numbers. So 144% higher than January 2020, coming in at 319 million.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
So yeah, they're doing pretty well, Nintendo, when it comes to sales. So I can't argue with those numbers.
2020 was a good year for the gaming industry.
Oh, for sure.
In terms of sales.
Yeah, sales-wise, which is very ironic. I think we'll start to see the effects of the pandemic in a couple years, though.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a little bit concerning. But that way we can go to our backlog.
Exactly.
And we all have massive backlogs, that's for sure.
Always. But there's always something new coming out.
New games... Oh, sorry?
There's always something new coming out.
Oh, you can't keep track. Especially indie developers as well. I feel like they're kind of thriving during the pandemic.
They're going to fill in the gap.
Yeah. Exactly. And they're getting, those games are getting more and more impressive.
Exactly.
So they're kind of becoming the new...
I mean, look at Broken Roads.
Yeah, exactly. Broken Roads. But yeah, you can also think of like the Indie World presentations they do. There's always something that'll catch your eye.
Always.
And they're like a fourth of the price.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, they're still really good.
Yeah. I think like 90% of my games on the Switch are indie games. Moving on, so new games were rated in Taiwan. So the two big ones from this bit of news, The Great Ace Attorney and Tales from the Borderlands, which I reckon that'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no. Tales from Borderlands was pretty good.
I never played a Tales game, to be honest.
Is The Great Ace Attorney the one where it's like his ancestor or something?
Yeah, I think it's like set in like the 1800s, I think.
Yeah, I wanted that one, but it never came out in English. Remember?
There you go. Now it might. The other two games were Secret Neighbor and SnowRunner, but I don't know anything about them.
I thought Secret Neighbor was already out. Maybe it's not on Switch.
I've never heard of it.
That's it's like it boomed on the YouTube Let's Play and like Twitch thing. For a bit. It's like that creepy like Russian neighbor thing that you had to break into his house to do stuff. I'm 100% sure.
Now I've got to look it up.
Yeah.
Have you heard of SnowRunner?
No, I haven't heard of SnowRunner.
No, that's fair.
Maybe.
More games, always good.
If I looked at it, it probably would tick in my head, but no, I can't remember it from the name.
No, neither can I. Last bit of news as well, Grezzo. If you're not familiar with Grezzo, they did the remakes and like touch-ups for the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask ports on the 3DS. They also did Link's Awakening on Switch, and they made their own game, Ever Oasis, which I still need to play to this day. But the news about them, they've recently put out more hiring calls for a new stylish medieval project, which could mean anything.
Sounds interesting though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, medieval is a very common place to go to because it's got that high fantasy feel to it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if it's not Zelda, Grezzo have all of their games have been very well. Most of them have been remakes, granted, but Ever Oasis looked really good.
That reminded me of what was it? That game where you like took on different jobs.
Fantasy Life.
That's the one.
That was a good game.
Like just the way it looked very similar.
Yeah,
that was a game that you had to put in a lot of time.
Fantasy Life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't finish it, but I know Rochelle did.
I got close to it.
Yeah, I really wanted to focus on like, because when I play games, especially like RPGs and like something where you can, there's a lot of options, I tend to just max out everything and try to do that, but then I burn myself out and get bored halfway through it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. It's so hard.
It is, and like the stories and the writing, they're not that great. So I feel like
no.
And now that was I reckon that was Fantasy Life's biggest drawback. So one day I'll kind of go back to it and just max out one class, like one fighting class, and just finish the game. I reckon.
That's fair.
But I've got to play Ever Oasis first.
Yes.
And I don't even own Ever Oasis. So one day, and that involves me picking up my 3DS at the moment, which I don't even know where that thing is right now.
Can you find it?
Which is a little upsetting. Moving on to the indie roundup. So this is a segment where we talk about what's coming up in terms of indie games. Really, really cool. So sometimes we feel as though these games don't really get the attention that they deserve. So we just wanted to highlight a couple of them. The first one, which actually came out yesterday by time of recording this and would have been out for a couple of days now, Half Past Fate Romancing Distance. So this is a sequel to a game called Half Past Fate. And it's kind of like a romancing, I don't know, like a top-down 2D romancing game.
Interesting.
To be honest, I don't really have much more to say on it than that.
I can see why they released it yesterday.
Well, that's it. Because of Valentine's Day and all that.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. That
actually took me a second to click there. But I'm just going to get the write-up about it. Maybe I can share a bit of knowledge that way. Because the first one's on Switch. So yeah, it's kind of like top down. Looks, I mean, incredibly casual, but 3D art style. Sorry, I'll correct myself there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you just talk to people, romance if that's your kind of thing, especially if romancing kind of games are in your wheelhouse. Apparently, for the first one as well, one of the features is eat spicy ramen. So that's kind of cool. And you change a flat tire. That's another feature.
That's an interesting feature.
Yeah, that's less cool.
Seems like they're playing, they're going for the joke route with that. It's like, hey.
Maybe.
I mean, it makes it more interesting than like, oh, hey, our features are you can talk to girls or whatever.
Yeah. I think...
Make it more interesting.
Yeah, I think like either people are trying to be funny with the feature segment of like press releases, or they just kind of have to fill in the gaps. I'm like, if you can't think of anything to say, just don't do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Next one is Cathedral. I actually mentioned this one before, by the publisher, not the developer. This is their first time publishing. Elden Pixels publishing this one. So it comes out 18th of February. It's like a 2D 8-bit Metroidvania in kind of like a Shovel Knight / Castlevania style. So that looks really cool. I think Steve's been very keen on this one, actually. And Steve does have pretty good taste. Well, from what I know anyways.
Wait for that review for it. I mean, he likes Zelda, so...
Well, that's right. So, his recommendation is good enough for me. But yeah, it looks very Shovel Knight-esque. Like, actually, it looks like some of the textures are very similar, which is very interesting, because it has no affiliation with Shovel Knight and Yacht Club games. But yeah, if you like 2D 8-bit Metroidvanias, that's definitely one to check out. Next one is Thomas Was Alone. I've never played this game, but I know it's had a lot of love for it. There's a lot of love for it. Have you ever played Thomas Was Alone?
So I swear I've heard the name of it before, and I can't remember it.
I think if you saw it, you'd be like, it'll instantly come back to you. Like, I think it came out like, it was one of those early indie games. It's very minimalistic. You've got just
with the colored blocks and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think I haven't played it, but I think I have it on the PS4 as a free game.
That sounds about right.
I never played it.
It looks like one of those free games you'd get. But I reckon with that game especially, I think it's just a cult classic.
It'll also be good to play on the go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it looks like a game that'll definitely benefit from that. You've got Rogue Heroes being published by Team 17. That one, it looks like a Link to the Past cross Four Swords adventures kind of game, which looks kind of cool.
With roguelike elements.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So roguelike elements with an open world, overworld. That was hard to say.
Be interesting to see how that comes out.
Yeah, so that actually looks quite cool.
Something you can play with your friends.
Exactly, yeah. So that being like up to 4 player. I think it's so local and online multiplayer, which is pretty cool. And last one to point out, February 23rd. So we got Taxi Chaos. So this one, if you've ever played Crazy Taxi or Simpsons Road Rage, it's kind of like a spiritual successor to that.
Good games they were. Played a lot of Simpsons Road Rage.
Yeah, so did I. I had the Game Boy Advance version originally. Did you ever play the Game Boy Advance version?
No, I had the GameCube version.
Yeah, that's the proper version. If you ever look at the Game Boy Advance version, it is hilarious. Like, really watered down. You know when the Game Boy Advance was trying to push, like, realistic graphics? Or, not realistic, but, like, 3D polygonal graphics?
Yeah.
It just... I mean, I didn't notice at the time, and I really enjoyed it back when I was a kid, but I looked up a YouTube video of, like, a playthrough of it. It looks so bad.
I don't remember this. It's been looking so bad.
Yeah. Out of that, though, they should really remake Hit and Run, or make another one.
I think there was a problem with licensing with that.
I think there is, yeah.
I think that was planned.
And I don't think you could make a second one, I reckon, with Hit and Run.
No, you'd have to remaster it.
Yeah, because I don't think a second one would hold up as well, what with the direction The Simpsons went. Just a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Patreon questions. So this is a segment where our $1 patrons can submit questions to us. We also open it up to our Twitter and like our social media platforms as well. So you can always, when we put up a call out for questions, you can always ask us there as well. However, $1 patrons or, any of our patrons will get priority for those questions. But this one actually comes from a Twitter user, so at Mr. A_game. He asks, do you think that the next 3D Mario game will take the Bowser's Fury / Breath of the Wild approach and go completely open world? What do you reckon, Nathan?
See, I haven't played Bowser's Fury yet because I haven't got the game yet. But if it's like Mario Odyssey, like was it James was saying, like I'd hope so. Go for that more like world, like connecting all the way instead of like going from place to place. You kind of go around. It'd be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I thought it was very Mario Odyssey. I haven't played this either, but I've seen gameplay of it and, like, seen videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's all one connected world, and that's very interesting to me, because I don't think Mario's ever done that.
No, it hasn't, from my memory.
Yeah, it just makes, like, sandbox levels. So I'm just thinking, like, New Donk City.
Yeah, or hub, hub worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, creating just one big world is so interesting. I don't think they'll do that in the future for Mario. They might make the levels bigger.
No,
and, like, do that
because they do more distinct themes for each world. It's how they've always done it. So I don't think they would properly go it, but maybe they'd make it, like you said, bigger.
I'd like to see, like, a spin-off of something like that, because I feel like Bowser's Fury is very much a proof of concept they're trying to do.
Yeah. Usually that stuff is.
Yeah, and I feel like they're trying to gauge whether people are keen on something like this or not.
So if you think it's going to be worth it, buy the game.
Oh, for sure. I'm the same as you. I haven't bought Super Mario 3D World because I played it on the Wii U, and I want to get it eventually, but
yeah,
I just can't justify it, especially when Bravely Default 2 is coming out soon, and
not yet.
We always have a ton of games to play for our job as well. If only it was our full-time job, but that's a different matter.
Monster Hunter.
But yeah, so it does look interesting. I don't think they'll do that moving forward for Mario games, but I think it might be something that they call back to, or they might be more open to that kind of world design in the future in bite-sized kind of things. But very, very interesting question, and very, like, I'd never actually thought of that, whether they would look to do something like that ongoing. So, who knows? Nintendo does weird stuff.
Yes.
Trying to predict what they do, it's always almost impossible. We can now move on to the next segment. So, everyone's favorite segment, Name That Game. Nathan, are you ready?
Nope. Because I'm by myself.
Yeah, good luck with this one. You've got nothing, you don't have any ideas to bounce off anyone. So that's going to be interesting.
No.
I will...
Although last time I did get it myself.
That is true. Although I picked an RPG. I made sure not to do that this time.
Yeah.
So there's your first hint, but it doesn't count. I will preface, no looking at your Switch this time.
Okay.
That's cheating. Alright, hint number 1. It is a puzzle game.
Okay. I'll go to the next hint then.
It contains 5 levels. One level is called I'll start that again. One level is called Back Gardens.
Okay. I'll go for the next hint. I've got no idea at the moment.
Hint number 4. Nintendo Switch version has an 81 on Metacritic.
I can't work it out. I'll go next hint and then take a guess.
Now, developer's second game, but first on Switch.
Puzzle games.
So they've only made 2 games before, these guys. I just remember now as well, I didn't actually explain the rules. So Nathan gets 5 guesses. 5 guesses in total, 2 before question 6. So he's got 2 guesses to use now. Otherwise, if he doesn't use them, they'll go. Then there's another 2 before question 10, and then 1 after question 10. There's also 2 lifelines, so you can ask me a yes or no question, or a Switchaboo lifeline, which is basically one of our panelists who aren't here at the moment. They've recorded a little snippet, like a little hint, so he can use as well, or he can trade any of those lifelines in for another guess. That is up to him. And you have to use the lifeline before you ask the yes or no question.
Yeah.
Wait, was it the other way around? Yes, you have. Sorry.
Yes,
you have to
yes.
use the yes or no question before you can use the Switchaboo lifeline question.
Yes.
I'm going to have to write down these rules.
Yeah. Puzzle game.
So I'll recap. Puzzle game contains 5 levels. One of those levels is called Back Gardens. Nintendo Switch version has an 81 on Metacritic, and it's the developer's second game, but it's their first on Switch.
I'm just going to throw out a guess because I know it's probably not right because I don't think it got ported. Puzzle and Dragon?
No.
That's only on 3DS, isn't it?
I think so. There was like that Mario one.
Yeah.
And then it's like a big mobile game. But no, not Puzzle and Dragons.
I have no idea. I'm going to just have to skip the guess.
Oh, you're throwing it away.
I'm drawing blanks.
Oh, that's upsetting. Hint number 6. It was a Nintendo Switch console exclusive for 3 months. Next hint. And this one's the big hint, I think. Was funded by Film Victoria in Australia.
Okay. That would be Untitled Goose Game.
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Well done. You got it.
Yeah. As soon as she said Victoria, I'm like, hang on. That sounds... There's only a few games that are done in Australia.
That's it. And it was very successful. So the other hints were it won the Breakthrough Award at the 2019 Golden Joystick Awards. So more than 100,000 copies were sold within its first 2 weeks on Switch, which is huge for an indie game. And it launched on Switch on the same day as Link's Awakening in 2019.
I didn't realize it was their second game.
Yeah, I researched it the other day, obviously, for this. They made another game. It came out on like PC and PS4, I believe it was.
Okay.
I think their House is the developer.
That's the House.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they never changed the title of the game.
Yeah, I think it just caught on.
Because they announced it as because it was Untitled Work in Progress, like title of Untitled Goose Game, and then people they liked the title of the game.
Yeah, and then it just kind of went with it.
I completely forgot that was a puzzle game, honestly.
And I thought the Back Gardens would have been a hint as well, because I vividly remember that level.
See, I haven't played it. I've just seen it. Yeah, no, I haven't had the chance to play it.
Oh, it's one I've
been meaning to buy it.
I
haven't purchased it yet.
It's very short as well. It only goes for like 2.5 hours, and I think that was the reason why it probably didn't rank on Metacritic and reviews a bit higher. Because it is a very short game. But what is there is so good, and it's so polished and hilarious when you get the chance.
Yeah, no, from what I've seen, it looks really good. And like everything you're saying is incredibly well made.
Yeah. 2023, when all the games dry up and there's not going to be any games, that's when you play it.
Yeah.
Because it's a very good game. So that wraps up the episode 3 of the Switchaboo Podcast. Thank you, Nathan, for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
Always. You can follow us at Switchaboo News on Twitter. We do all kinds of reviews, obviously the podcast, everything Nintendo Switch. And to wrap up this fortnight's episode, we're going to be wrapping up with a little bit of music from the upcoming game Akurra. I would definitely check out Akurra. It's very much in early stages at the moment, but the developer does say that it's coming to Switch. This is just their title screen music, and that's just what the track's called. So definitely check out Akurra at Gojira, so at GOJIRRA. And this soundtrack was composed by Craig Lee, who you can find on Twitter at CraigDude007. Thank you everyone for listening.